What is the commercial eviction process for businesses? Imagine running a busy shop or office and suddenly facing the challenge of removing a tenant who isn't paying rent or breaking lease rules. How does that process work? Let's walk through the steps involved in legally evicting a business tenant from a commercial property. First, the landlord needs to review the lease agreement carefully. This document spells out what the tenant can and cannot do, including any specific rules about eviction. It's important to check for violations like unpaid rent, damage to the property, or unauthorized use of the space. Next, the landlord must send a written notice to the tenant. This notice explains the problem clearly and gives the tenant a chance to fix it. If the issue is unpaid rent, the notice might be called a notice to cure and specify how many days the tenant has to pay or correct the issue. If the landlord wants the tenant to leave, the notice could be a notice to quit, which states the tenant must vacate within a certain period, often between 3 to 30 days depending on local laws. During this notice period, the tenant has the opportunity to respond or fix the violation. If they do not comply within the given time, the landlord can move forward with legal action. This involves filing an eviction lawsuit, also known as an unlawful detainer action, in the local court. The landlord submits a complaint that details the lease violation and requests the court to order eviction. Once the lawsuit is filed, the court will issue a summons, which must be served to the tenant. Usually, a process server or law enforcement officer delivers this document. The tenant then has a set amount of time, often 5 to 10 days, to respond to the summons and appear in court. If the tenant responds, a court hearing is scheduled. During this hearing, both sides present their evidence. The landlord must prove that the tenant broke the lease agreement and that eviction is justified. If the court finds in favor of the landlord, it will issue an eviction order. The final step is executing the eviction. The tenant is given a specific time frame, often between 3 to 15 days, to vacate the property. If they do not leave voluntarily, law enforcement officers can step in to remove them. Throughout this process, it is essential for landlords to keep detailed records of all notices, communications, and court documents. Following legal procedures precisely helps avoid delays or legal challenges. Consulting with a legal professional familiar with local laws can also make the process smoother. Understanding these steps ensures that both landlords and tenants know their rights and responsibilities, making the eviction process clear and fair for everyone involved.